Hello, I was recently on Instagram looking for some new makeup looks that I could possibly recreate to see if I should make that my staple look for school. And one look that I stumbled upon is this look that Nana had on for her high cut magazine cover, I think, or magazine shoot, and I'm obsessed with it because it's more or less a I'm cold makeup look that's been trending on TikTok for a while, but make it more of a doll look and more playful and cheeky because of how pink the cheeks are. And so I'm gonna try to attempt that, but I will say I cannot fully say I know exactly what the makeup look looks like because all the photos that I've seen either on her Instagram account or like reposted, they're not all super HD, and so I'm gonna have to guess on some elements to make the look as accurate as possible. But besides that, let's get into it. First things first, I'm gonna use my Momo Puri concentrated lotion as my skincare prep because I feel like for some reason ever since winter started my skin just can't take moisturizer well at all. Like, it just sits on my skin but never like fully soaks in, regardless of like all the things that I do to make it soak into my skin. Maybe it's because it's too thick and my skin is way too dehydrated that it doesn't want to put all that effort into soaking up something super thick. And so using this lotion is really helpful because it's so watery, it just soaks into the skin like within seconds. Literally, it's only been like 5 to 10 seconds and my skin already is super tacky and it has that plumpness, and so that's what I want. And because of how sticky that lotion already made my skin, I think it's more or less the same thing as if you use a primer, and so I'm gonna skip primer and just jump straight into the look. Like, the first thing I noticed when I look at the inspo pic is that her skin is very satin. It's like very porcelain, just perfect. It's not super shiny, it's not super matte, it's like the perfect in between. And so to recreate that, I'm gonna just use a little bit of the Say Glowy Super Gel in the shade Star Glow, just a tiny bit, to give my skin like a little bit of luminosity that you usually see when it comes to like porcelain dolls, and just apply that to my cheeks in a very thin layer. Next thing I'm gonna add is a skin tint. I feel like a foundation perhaps wouldn't be that appropriate for this look because this is more or less like a flawless base, and for me, whenever I put foundation on, it just ends up looking really cakey, and so I'm not gonna risk looking cakey for this look. And so I'm gonna use my Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint in the shade G8, just shake it up and apply it to my skin generously because this is a very sheer skin tint, but it does wonders because it just evens out your skin tone and it's more or less just a your skin but better. So a lot of product, but it's okay because once you blend it into your skin, it just disappears into nothing and makes your skin look perfect. After that, I'm gonna apply some concealer, and I feel like for this look there's an emphasis on the center. Like, there's no full emphasis, but I feel like you should always look at the center of the face, and so I'm going to use a lighter concealer in the center of my face and then like a more natural, close to my skin tone color on the outside rim. And so for the inner part of my face, I'm going to use House Labs Triclone Skin Tech Concealer in the shade 13 Light Neutral, and just be very sparse about this concealer because this concealer can be full coverage if you leave it long enough. And so I'm just gonna apply a thin layer around the nose, on my nose, around my mustache area, and then between my eyebrows, and then a bit on the top of my eyebrow, and then just a bit under my eye. And yeah, just this area. And I might just do it a bit on the center of my cheeks. And then for the rest of my face, I'm gonna use this Glossier Stretch Concealer in the shade G8. This is like the old formulation because I don't think that shade this exact shade exists now. I think now it's M2, if ever. And so I'm gonna just use my finger, be very generous about this concealer because this concealer is pretty thin because it's a very natural dewy concealer. And so look at how much I added to my hand, and then just dot it everywhere else on my face. This is my current concealer look, but yeah, I'm gonna let it sit a little bit longer than I naturally do so that the coverage can kind of be a little bit stronger because of how much my cheeks are breaking out. It's been some time since my concealer has been sitting on my face, and so I'm gonna blend it out. Using my Real Techniques 300 brush, I'm gonna just slowly start blending it out. I feel like to ensure that effect of having the lighter concealer in the center of my face, I just blended out the lighter concealer first, and then now I'm gonna start blending out the more skin tone shade so that they blend out seamlessly and kind of have a gradient from lightest to natural. Okay, concealer is all blended out. I love the fact how I said I don't want to wear foundation because it'll be too cakey, and yeah, I just lather on a full face more or less of concealer. Next, I think what we're gonna do are the cheeks, because the cheeks are very interesting, I will say. It's literally just a rectangle, like from the center of your nose to here. It's like literally this portion just spread out. And so in the picture it's a very peachy pink, but I don't have a certain color like that, and so I think I'm gonna mix two colors. And the first color I'm gonna use is this Fui Pudding Pot in the shade Without, and it looks really muted there, but then if you look at the actual color, it's more or less just a really cute pink. Like, I think it's a warm pink. Let me swatch it for you guys. I'm so addicted to these because look at them, they literally are so jiggly. Ugh, I'm obsessed. I'll put it right here, and they blend out like a dream. They just give you like that blurred look. But yeah, as you can see, it's just a really light, almost like warmish pink, and I think that'd be perfect for this look. And so I'm just gonna grab some of my finger, just tapping it because I don't want to ruin the pudding look. And so just tapping it, loading it on my finger, and you can see from my finger it looks super velvety. It's insane, and it smells like candy. And so I'm gonna just pat it kind of where I want, like right there, and then just make my way out. Because if anything, it's either a rectangle. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the picture on my iPad, because in this picture it literally is just a rectangle, but then it also curves up. And so I'm gonna just try to replicate that shape and then start blending in. But first I need to see where it sits so I can make sure that the blush placement is even on both sides. But yeah, something like that. And then I'm gonna just take my finger with the residual blush that I currently have on my finger, and then just slowly start to flick it out and up. Something like this. It's like starting off as a rectangle and then you flick it up. And then I'm gonna just try to blend it out to build up the color. I'm gonna make it a bit brighter using the Patrick Ta She's a Doll cream, and just use my finger again, pat the extra on my hand because look how bright it is. So I'm just take it, pat on my hand so there's a good amount of color on my finger, and then just this area right here, just build up a bit more color. I feel like something like this is good. Just concentrate all the bright colors around the apples of your cheeks and you should be fine. And because I feel like my blush kind of went a bit high on my right side, I'm gonna just take my concealer brush and just pat some away by applying the residual concealer on my brush onto the under eye area and a bit under the cheeks so that it keeps that rectangular look that we were going for. For the eyes, sorry, I'm keep dropping my iPad. For the eyes, there's not really that much going on from what I can see. Like, for the most part, I don't really see anything on her eyelid. I'm checking the images right now. I feel like there's really nothing on her eyelid, but there is a subtle pink on the bottom of her lash. And so to replicate that look, because I don't really have a pink shadow that's like that close to the color that she has, I'm gonna use the Pat McGrath Sunlit Seduction palette, and I'm gonna flip it this way. I'm gonna use this color right here, but very lightly, and just brush it under my eye. And for the brush I'm gonna use, let's see, which brush is not super dirty? I'll use this one. I'll use the e.l.f. Fluffy eye blender. And then just take a little bit, tap off the excess, and then tap also a bit of it on my hand, and you can see the color. It's just a really light wash. I like a brown pink, and then just squint a little bit so I can see the eye bags more predominantly, and then just follow that eye bag and just lightly brush with shadow. You can just see like I'm blocking the sun. Just a little, it's just a tiny bit of wash so that it just looks like there's a little bit of pink under your eyes, not pinkness, just a little bit, just tapping it. And also, now that I'm looking at the photo more clearly on my iPad because I just zoomed it in, she has a little bit of tight lining on her top lid, and so I'm gonna do that with a dark brown, and I'm gonna use this elf small precision brush, that's what it is. And I'm looking at the picture, and she just has it like the center of her eye area, and so I'm gonna take a dark brown that's similar to my natural eye color and lash color, tapping off the excess, washing off the excess on the back of my hand, and I'm just gonna just follow the natural curve of my eye and then just tightline a bit. It's fine if you can't tightline like perfectly in a straight line. I can't either, because you can just wipe off the excess or just use a Q-tip and clean up the line, but also your lashes are gonna start covering a majority of it anyways. You just want to tightline a bit so that your eyes look bigger. And there you go. You can see, just, you can't really tell my eyes because my eyes are kind of hooded. I'm like wiping off all the excess powder, but it just opens up your eye a bit and makes them more doll-like, because if you notice, a lot of porcelain dolls, the lashes have a very thick black band, and so that's kind of what you're replicating. And so you can just wipe off if the tight line is too messy or too thick. I'm just wiping it also because my hands are now covered in shadow. But yeah, that's all you do. For her lids and her inner corner, she has glitter, like a little bit right here and then falling into the inner eye corner. I have the Merit Highlighting Balm in the shade Kava, and it's a really pretty, you could not see that. It's like a really pretty champagne pearly glow, and so I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna just put it on the back of my hand, like a good amount, because this thing is so light, and so you need to build it up. But I'm gonna take that on the back of my hand, and I'm going to just tap it from right here down. And so take your hand and just tap it in. I'm gonna start on the eyelids first. Just tap it in, and then bring it down and near your tear duct. And this already kind of gives you that glow that she has, but I feel like it's not enough, because obviously like the pictures are edited, but the glitter shines super bright. And so on top of that highlighting balm, I'm going to use the Asamaya white, just taking it, and look how beautiful that color is. I'm going to just apply a bit on the back of my hand so that's not super strong, and then just lightly tap, because I don't want to go too crazy with the color and not be able to move it because it's right on top of cream. So just pat it. And just blend it with your finger a bit so it's not looking like just glitter in one area of your face. But you can kind of see how bright that glitter is. And just apply a bit more to my eyelid. Not too much, because most of the glitter is concentrated around this area. Because of how green it is, I'm going to add a bit on top. And so to add on top, I'm going to add this really icy blue alongside it so that it looks a bit more like ice, or more like that icy sparkle that most people are used to, because I feel like the icy sparkle is just white and blue, but this has a little bit of green. So just gently tap it on top. And yeah, look at that. It's so pretty. I feel like this is definitely not going to be an everyday look because I'm not going to pull up to school with like an eyeball full of glitter, because I feel like glitter always falls in my eye and I can't blink and wipe it away because I always wear mascara, and so it would not be beneficial for me to do that. But yeah, that is more or less the eyes. I don't think there's anything else, but the most important part, I'm going to grab my eye color from my bag. The most important part of this look are the lashes. You want them super curled and super separated because that is what gives you the doll effect. And so I'm going to curl my lashes with my Shiseido eyelash curler. And then next, I'm going to use my Heroin Make Long Up Mascara, super waterproof in black. And I love this mascara because it guarantees that your lashes will be super long and stay curled all day while making sure they're still spaced out. Do my bottom lashes too because you really want those big doll eyes. So I'm going to wipe off all the excess mascara from my wand so that it doesn't hit my skin. I feel like the more product you have, the higher chance it's going to smudge. And so, okay. Those are the eyes. I feel like this look would look really nice if I did falsies or did lash clusters, but for some reason lash clusters and I don't agree at all. Like, they don't stay that long, and so sorry, I can't do that. And I'm gonna clean up my eye area because there was so much like brown shadow from when I was tightening, and so I'm gonna just clean that up and just wipe it carefully because I don't want to smear any of that glitter shadow anywhere that it shouldn't be. After that, I'm going to just brush up my brows and make them really fluffy, and so I'm going to use the Benefit Brow Setter 24-hour visible shaping and setting gel for brows. And you really want to make sure that the front of your brows, like right here, is super like bushy. So I'm going to brush them up and make them stand because that's how it looked like in the photo, and then everything else just normally groomed. I have no idea where my gloss went, which is weird because I swear I had it somewhere with me, but whatever. And so we're gonna move on. In the look, her lips kind of match her cheeks but are much darker, and so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add, if I can also find it, I feel like I'm losing everything, I'm gonna add this Westman Atelier Baby Cheeks in the shade Petal. I'm gonna just grab some on my finger and just apply it to my lips. Because they're kind of in the same realm of pink. Add that, clean up my lips because somehow now I accidentally applied too much product around my lip and it looks like I ate something when I didn't. I'm gonna take my concealer brush and just clean up the edges because that's not a cute look. But yeah, something like that, something velvety, and then I'm gonna add a gloss on top, and I'm gonna go into my bag that I have full of lip products, and I think I'm gonna use this Tower 28 Shine On Lip Jelly in the shade Sesame and just go thick with the product. And because in the picture it looks much more red, I think what I'm gonna do is just add the Fui Pudding Pot in the shade Lyrics onto the center, just to warm it up. Grabbing another finger to dip. I think that makes it better. And I know the look is supposed to be kind of gradient, but for my lips, gradient lips never look good. Lastly, because I completely forgot that part, I'm going to add a bit more of the Merit highlight to the back of my hand and just highlight my nose, like the tip of my nose, and around my nose area also, because she has like a slight highlight there. So just tip of your nose And make sure to blend this balm, because if you just add it to your nose, it'll just be like a random oval shape of balm that looks really crusty and cakey, which is not the look you're going for. And then just apply some to your nose bridge, but make sure you blend it in because you don't want just a strip of glitter. For powder, I'm using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus and Translucent, just tipping it upside down because I don't think I have that much powder anymore. Taking a powder puff and really pack it on there. Top off the excess, grab your hand, rub it in so all that extra powder is not gonna fall off and onto your clothes. And then just set anywhere that doesn't have anything on top of it. So set your forehead, under where you put your blush. Set that first so that it becomes super heavily matte or super heavily satin. Also, I'm gonna do my nose. And then now with less powder, oh my god, you can see the powder. With less powder, set your cheeks. Because you want everything to just look super airbrushed except for your eyes and your lips and also your nose. And I'm gonna go back in with my Merit highlighting balm. Go back in and just rebuild the shine. So just take it. Oh, I think I applied something to my nose. Just retake it and just bring back the shine. And then if you have a fluffy brush, you can wipe off all that powder so that it's just not residual powder just clinging to your face. Just be mindful not to sweep your lip gloss all over your face. That's what I just did on my nose. But yeah, last but not least, set it in place. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, shaking it up. And yeah, I think there's some eyebrow gel. I think that's the final look. This is the final look in natural lighting. I love it actually. I really like how the frosty eye really pops, like the glitter really pops, and I love how flushed and natural the cheeks look. I just like how the look is very much a satin look. But yeah, I'm obsessed actually. I kind of wish my lashes were a little bit longer, giving more doll look, but I'm too lazy to put on clusters. Also wish my eyebrows would stand up because they have a ton of the benefit eyebrow, like the eyebrow setter, but they're stubborn, so I can't really do much. But yeah, thanks for watching my attempt at this very scuffed look based off of very low quality pictures. See you next time. Bye.